Okay, so a continuation of multiplying fractions. There are some basic skills that you need to be able to do. Like one, you need to be able to simplify fractions using the multiplication table. And we'll review that as we go through problems. And you also need to know how to convert a mixed number into an improper fraction and an improper fraction back into a mixed number for a final answer. So I'm going to go through each of those steps. I'm going to start with just a simple multiplying fractions as a review. Then I'm going to start multiplying with mixed numbers, whole numbers, fractions, and whole numbers. And then this can just be a reference point for you. So just to multiply regular old fractions, you just go straight across the top, straight across the bottom. Super easy to do. You can do the calculator. 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 4 is 8. And you'll know that there isn't a number that goes into 3 and 8 other than 1, so this is a final answer. You also could go and try and find 3 over 8 on your multiplication table, and you'll see it already simplified down because there are no common factors. So what does it look like if I had a fraction times a whole number? So underneath every whole number, because 6 can be divided by 1, 1 goes into 6 times. Anytime there's a whole number like this that's not a fraction, you can always just put a 1 underneath it. Then you're going across the top and across the bottom. That would equal 6 over 2. This is an improper fraction. The reason it's improper is because the number on top is bigger than the number on bottom. What this is saying is 6 divided by 2. That's where that symbol comes from. So you could type in the calculator 6 divided by 2. Another way to think about it is how many times does 2 go into 6? 2, 4, 6. 3 times. This also said half of 6. Half of 6 is 3. And here was our proof, all the work. So if we are given mixed numbers, let's say 2 and a third, there's a process that we're going to go through to do every single time. We're going to do 2 times 3 plus 1. This was referred to in elementary school as burying the treasure under the church, whatever you want to call it. I just call it multiply the whole number by the denominator and add the numerator. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So this would equal 7, and you keep the denominator over 3. So 2 and 1/3 and 7/3 are the exact same thing. Okay? I'm going to show you why. I know I showed you why last time, but I'm going to show you why again. If you have 3/3, that's equal to 1 whole. So think about having a pie that's cut into 3 pieces. If you have all 3 pieces, you have the entire pie. And you have another pie. That means you have 2 pies so far. And then you have a third of another pie. So if you have all the same denominators, which you do, you can just add all the numerators. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. That's where this shortcut comes from. Okay? So what we're going to do is set up a multiplying fractions with a mixed number and a whole number, a mixed number and a mixed number, and then just a mixed number and a fraction. So let's just go ahead and stick with 2 and 1/3, and let's multiply it by just a regular old whole number. Let's go with 3. So we know that we can't do 2 and 1/3 times 3. We have to convert this to an improper fraction. That means bury the treasure under the church, or just multiply the whole number by the denominator and then add the numerator. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So you can see how I'm rewriting it. And we know that 3 can be put over 1. Anytime we see a whole number, we can put a 1 underneath it. If you type in your calculator 3 divided by 1, you're going to get 3, which is why we can put whole numbers over 1. 1 goes into 3 times. Now it looks like we're back to just a regular multiplying fractions problem. That's exciting. So then we can do 7 times 3 is 21. 3 times 1 is 3. This is back to our improper fraction. You don't want to leave it as an improper fraction. You want to turn this back into a mixed number. So there's two things we can do. You can think about how many times is 3 going to 21. And I'm just going to go to the multiplication chart. I'm going to go by threes and go, okay, I'm going to see how close I can get to 21. Oh, man, sweet. There's 21 right there. It went in 7 times. So 2 1/3 of 3 is 7. That's the process we go through. Now, what if we have something a little more confusing? Let's take a look. Let's stick with the 2 1/3. I don't know why, I just feel attached to it today. And go with 3/4. Okay, so this is our mixed number times just a fraction. What we did was a mixed number times a whole number. So we know that we can't do anything with this yet. We have to convert it to times 3 plus 1 is 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Keep your bottom number, which is 3, also called your denominator. Bring down your 3/4. That one's ready to go. Then next, multiply across the top, across the bottom. 7 times 3 is 21. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay? So there's several ways to do this. I'm going to show you all 3. 1, you could use a calculator. And here's how you would do that. I'm going to pull up the calculator and show you. So we could type in 21 divided by 12. We know it's not going to go in evenly, but we do know it fits in evenly one time. So 12 fits into 21 one time. So then how far away is it? So we have a remainder of something. We got all the way up to 12, but we need to get to 21. So how far away is that? So let's figure it out. 12 times 1 is 12. Okay, so how far away from 21 is that? That means we're going to do 21 minus 12. Get 9. Keep your denominator. Same thing. And then we can simplify this by looking at the multiplication chart. So I'll go back. 9/12. 9/12 would be 3/4. Okay? So that equals 1 3/4. Number 2 would just say, how many times does 12 fit into 21? Fits in one time. So it's actually using division and then having a remainder. 12 goes into 21 one time. Then how far from 21 are we? So, okay, we got all the way up to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 9, and keep your denominator, okay? And then we already know that we can go to the multiplication chart and simplify that to 3/4. Then the most experimental way, and I would say the most progressive way possible, would be if you could find 21 over 12 on here. And I'm not even sure if that, yep, there it is. Okay, so 21 over 12. That simplifies to 7/4. Okay, so we know that 21 was over 12. Usually we go with 12 over 21, but the fraction we've got is improper, so 7/4. Let's see this. Check this out. So using the X chart was a third way. And I don't care which way you do it. It's good to know all 3. Why not? So that simplified into 7, what was it, 7/3 or 7/4? 7/4. Then we go through the same thing, divide or use the calculator. How many times does 4 fit into 7? Once. And we know that if it goes in twice, it would be 8. So we can't go that far. So how far? 4 would be 5, 6, 7. 3 left over, 1 3/4. This is the thing that's going to keep on coming up and keep on coming up. Okay, so let's go ahead and just do, I'm going to go through the motions of doing a mixed number times a mixed number. And just for time's sake, I'll do both, the same mixed numbers. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Okay, 7 times 7, 3 times 3. 49 over 9. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and use the X chart. So what we've got is 49 over 9. Okay? So how many times does 9 fit into 49? 54 is too far. 45. So we know that it goes in 5 times. Okay? And we got all the way up to 45. But we need to get to 49. So 46, 47, 48, 49. Be 4 left over. Keep the bottom number, the denominator. 5 and 4 ninths. Bam.